Welcome to Couch Time with Sonja, the grace season. This episode is the MANCAVE, Emotional Unintelligence. This episode dives into how men tend to come up unaware of their emotions, or in a lot of situations, purposely taught to suppress those emotions as they are often linked to weakness. Let's take it to the couch.
Welcome back to MANCAVE, and this episode is about what does emotional unintelligence mean and what does it look like when it's present. So I'm here with the fellas we're going to represent, right, men?
That's
right.
Yes, sir.
So the first question is, what was your relationship with your fathers growing up?
You want to go first?
You can go first.
You're in order.
You can go first.
I can go first. Me and my dad, we had a really, really good relationship, but we were like so much alike as far as our egos and what fueled us that we clashed a lot. But communication-wise, it was never a moment I didn't feel like I could express anything to him, and that was from like any subject. So we had a really solid relationship, and it kind of just got better over time, especially when I had a kid.
Awesome.
Yeah, a relationship growing up with my father, it was distant. I lived in Houston, he lived in Atlanta, which is where I thought he was from. And my mom would fly me out to Atlanta off and on. Usually during the summers or during like February, we had something, an event that we went to and I would see him in Atlanta. But that was it. When I was there, it was, for me growing up as a kid, it was magical, right? Because I didn't grow up with him. But relationship, we really didn't have one to say like we were getting to know each other when I visited him. It was just like, this is my father, I'm his son, and then, kind of like, see you next time type deal.
All right. Malcolm?
I don't like this subject. I'm not a favorite person on this subject. Mine's wasn't there, and mine's wasn't there. So if I did see him, it was probably like twice out of my life. So when I was like 11, and then I think I went to see him for the first time like whenever I was like 18 or 19. So when I went up to him, he didn't know who I was. So that's like one thing that I'm really not comfortable with. So it's like a really tough subject to talk about.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's understandable.
Yeah.
So my dad was like a man's man. What he said, it was go. And then you were taught not to talk back. You were taught to say yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, and no ma'am. He was one of those old school guys.
Yeah.
Never showed a lot of emotions.
Right.
The soft, the sensitive side of himself. And so actually, man, we was like, it was like a fear there, but it was a respectful type fear. You knew what to say, what not to say. You knew what to do, what not to do.
Right.
And so everything was based on respect in our household, with my mother too. And so, yeah, he was a man's man. So, but he was a good father. He brought the bread home.
Right.
And he taught us how to do the same things.
Right.
So no complaints with my dad.
That's crazy to me though. Like my dad, you said your dad wasn't really emotional. He made it a point to show his emotions in front of me and my sister, but like he would make it a point to like not really hold anything back as far as emotions. Like I seen him cry over 1 million times.
Really?
Yeah, over 1 million times. Just over like the simplest stuff. Like it could be something so sweet and I'm like, oh man, you crying? Like he that type of dude.
I'm sorry, that's not funny. You said over everything, so I was like, what you mean?
Like touching stuff, like stuff.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Like I don't know, stuff that'll hit your heart. Like most men will feel like, I'm gonna just take that to the chin, not
Oh,
really
like I'm
gonna,
a G, I'm not gonna
yeah, express that.
Yeah.
Like my dude will let it out, like wherever he at.
He's actually showing the way how to react instead of holding it in or going to cry in the corner.
And I kind of think I like naturally went against that. and kind of like just like made myself as emotionless as possible. Just from seeing that, I don't know, because it was like, I don't know, it was just like vulnerable. I never wanted to be that type of vulnerable. But I mean, it's something I've grown to kind of understand and look at from a different perspective, but it's crazy.
So the next question is, what was taught to you about being a man?
Really like the same thing you were saying, like respect, you know, how to treat women. For me, it was, you know, how to treat women. I had a lot of lessons on like how to love, because I was like, I always tried to be a ladies' man. So we had those conversations pretty early. But like, I remember my dad teaching me like, or not teaching me, kind of like walking me through how like he would go about trying to kiss. And like, I mean, I don't know, like I've been a pretty decent kisser all my life, and I credit that to him. But it's like, just like the subtle like conversations we would have on subjects like that is like, you know, it was nothing off limits.
Right, right. Well, that's different, you know, because my dad, I don't think my dad taught us a whole lot about women. He just always told us if you get them pregnant, you're going to take care of the babies. He didn't tell us about the heartaches and the pains, you know.
Yeah.
But he did teach us how to take care of women. He led by example, kind of, sort of. You know, he wasn't a man of a lot of words. He wasn't this, to me and my brothers, he wasn't this romantic kind of guy. But to the ladies, they thought he was a romantic kind of guy.
Like y'all didn't see that example.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And so, you know, I didn't know it. You know, I didn't know how popular my dad was with the women till I got old enough to understand some things. You know, we lived in a low-income housing area, and so there wasn't a lot of fathers there.
Right.
And my father was a home builder, right? So he built houses for a living. But if you're the only man in the neighborhood, you kind of popular. You didn't hide the man, put it like that.
Right.
You know, back in those days, you're a working man, so that was a hot commodity amongst women. So, but I didn't figure it out till I got older to see some things for myself. But he was a good father. He was a good husband, you know, and you know, he did what he did.
Right.
But he took care of home.
Yeah, my father and my mother, they grew up in a nation. So, you know, I was built with a certain discipline.
Right.
Just, you know, how to act, period, one. And then not growing up with my dad, my mom was the one that kind of showed me. But people in the nation also kind of, you know, take you in and they show you open doors, you know, car doors. I still do it to this day. Just a certain respect that we always show for women.
Right.
You know, that's where I learned how to treat them.
Right.
It wasn't directly from my dad at all. We didn't have any type of conversations about it. But I did learn from the different environments that my mom put me in. She kept me, like, she always just made sure that she kept me in things that were positive, like the Shape Community Center in 3rd Ward. She has a great relationship with Deloitte Parker. He's the head guy there. And just, it's always, like, because of her, I'm able to say that I was raised well and I know how to treat, you know, women.
Right, right. So Malcolm, I know your dad wasn't around, but you had to have had some type of father figure around, or your mother may have taken that place for you to turn out to be the man that you are today.
I feel like
what examples did you have around you that you can say maybe helped you out a lot?
I felt like I learned how to be a man on my own. Or TV was the one that actually taught me how to be a man more so. My mother, she made sure that she was like, you know, I don't know. I feel like she would like make sure you take out the trash, make sure if you have a baby, you take care of that. If you have a wife, make sure you treat her right, you know.
Right.
But seeing the examples, my brother moved out when I was 16. No, he moved out when he was 16.
Right.
So I was like 12 or something, and so it was just me, my mom, and my sister. So I had to be the man of the house. So I actually learned more so by myself. I mean, she probably taught here and there, but I feel like I was the one who did all that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think you did a pretty good job.
Oh, you know, I'll be trying out here in these streets.
Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial. We'll be right back.
I'm ready for this. Are you ready for couch time with Sonja?
Oh, no lie, that was one of them things I had to work myself through. I saw like a real issue with sensitivity. Just like, I don't know what it was. Just, I think it was from really seeing how open my dad was, and I really went opposite.
I'm ready for this. Are you ready for couch time with Sonja? Sometimes you need to hear something
to the man cave. So I have a question for the men here that I'm sure the women want to answer to. So the question is, do you think there's anything wrong with being sensitive as a man?
Not at all. I mean, we talking about in general or to your girl?
Either way.
That's like a tricky question. To your girl, yes. But to everybody else, no, because some people try to walk all over you, and the last thing you want is for something like that. But with your girl, you need to be open. You need to be honest with her. Y'all need to sit down and have a little talks about this and that, something of how you feel or how you're feeling or anything just to improve that connection with one another.
Okay. Okay, what you think, Q?
Is it anything wrong with being sensitive, like in a relationship, basically? That's the question.
Yeah.
I don't think so. A lot of women say that they want us to express our feelings, and, let them know how we feel about different things because men, we usually are bottled up, and if it's not an angry emotion, then we don't show it. So I don't think it's anything wrong. Like if you're trying to have a healthy relationship, I think it's a good thing to
Talk
definitely
and
express your feelings.
Yeah,
Talk.
yeah.
Oh, no lie, that was one of them things I had to work myself through. I saw like a real issue with sensitivity. Just like, I don't know what it was. Just, I think it was from really seeing how open my dad was, and I really went opposite. So I grew up really kind of shut off emotionally. So expressing myself or learning how to do that, it took a lot. And like being sensitive in front of someone, because what I realized, I'm super sensitive. Like just period, I'm super sensitive. And like I've been battling against that like my entire life, creating like a conflict for no reason. So I don't think it's a real issue with that at all now, but like years ago, for sure.
Right. Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah, for me, myself, I think early on, I would say no. I had a problem with being sensitive or showing any sensitivity in me. The older you get, the more you go through life, you experience life's ups and downs.
Right.
Trials and tribulations. It start peeling away at that shield. It start breaking you down a little bit.
Right.
And so I may not show it to other people, but my wife has seen it, on several different occasions. So now I'm able to open up more. Right. Like for 34 years, I worked in law enforcement. So you tend to put a barrier up, a wall, to where you're not sensitive to this world.
Right.
But
Nothing hurts you.
yeah, exactly. But the older you get, man, the more you realize you have to open up sometimes.
Yeah.
And the person that needs to see that should be your significant other, or your wife.
Right.
She should know you better than anybody.
Right.
And that's not a bad thing.
Right.
She should see your goodness and the things you went through and the bad things you went through as well.
Especially when we're talking about spending the rest of your life with
Yeah.
one person, waking up to them every day.
Every day.
And think about it. They love it.
Right.
They love that about us if we can do that, if we can share what's in our hearts or what, if we're having a bad day, if we can share that, or even if we cry. They need to see us cry. It's okay. It's okay.
I mean, I'm an ugly crier. So
I haven't seen no pretty ones.
I ain't saying it is, but I don't like crying in front of people. I don't like showing all the emotions and stuff.
Yeah.
The only person who would really see me cry is probably like my mom, but other than that, nah, I don't like showing that part. I don't know how I'm gonna be an actor and do that, but
Well, you're not there yet.
nah, not yet.
You're
But
not there
I'm
yet.
getting there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we know.
I didn't like really, I cried in my first movie, like when I had my daughter, she was about 1.5, but like I seen Logan, Logan, the old man Logan movie.
Right.
I cried at the end. Like that was the first time that ever happened in my life. And it was weird for me, just like, I was like, man, I'm really sensitive.
You talking about the first time you cried ever?
Or like just, like in the
So were
movie.
you acting?
No, I wasn't. Like I cried, but it's like it blew my mind. I'm like in a movie theater crying from what I'm watching in the movies,
Right.
and that's like I was like 25, so I'm like, man, what? Like, what is this?
So why would we think that's a bad thing? Why is that a bad thing for men to cry? Because the strongest man in the history of mankind was Jesus Christ, and he wept.
Society.
So who are we? And why do we think that's a bad thing?
I don't think it's a bad thing. I just don't like other people seeing me like that.
Right.
Because I'm a very like, person, and it's just the way I am, and I just don't like showing emotions in general.
You think it's a sign of weakness, or
No, I don't think it's a sign of weakness. I just don't like showing it.
right?
Yeah, this might be something else.
Yeah, according to society, it's a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
Because we're supposed to be strong. We're supposed to have all the answers. We're supposed to fix the cars, pick up the car, move the car, everything. Like, we're supposed to build the house. So when you talk about things like that, that's strength, providing for the family, like so much on our shoulders.
Right.
So how could you, this person that's supposed to be the head, why are you crying? Why are you soft? Why are you weak? Why are you, showing, I guess, in that sense, since it sounds toxic, why are you showing a lower emotion?
Right.
So
Right.
why are you not always up and always good and always strong? So
Right.
I think that, yes, it's looked at as a weak emotion to be sensitive.
Okay. So what was taught to you about relationships?
I would say nothing.
Nothing.
I'm gonna be honest.
I was taught to where before you marry somebody, test the waters.
Yeah. The reason why I say nothing is because it's a good thing. But my mom, like I say, that she was a single parent. She didn't want to have different men in and out of the house.
That's good.
She didn't want me to see that. So
Right.
I don't know if that showed me something. Now that I'm saying it out loud, like maybe that showed me, because I can't say that I'm just in and out of relationships.
Right.
I do like to be in a relationship for a long period of time. So I guess that's a good thing. But yeah, just showing me two healthy people in a relationship, I haven't seen it.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I guess so. I don't know how to court a woman. I'm sorry to keep talking about, but yeah, I don't know how to court. I'm just kind of saying some of the
You
things.
talking about like pick her up?
Like court a woman, just you have an idea,
Yeah.
right? It's roses, chocolate, and telling her good things about herself. Like that. Roses, chocolate, telling her good things about
Oh,
herself.
see, I kind of.
That's surface
Chivalry.
level.
Yeah,
Chivalry.
right, yeah.
But other than that, like really maintaining, sitting down and trying to understand her and understand each other, and then where are we going in this relationship? What are we building here? Those type of things. The foundation of it, I've never seen.
Yeah, I had to learn that myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a quick commercial break. Got to pay our sponsorships and take care of that stuff, and we'll be right back after this message.
I'm ready for this. Are you ready for couch time with Sonja?
I'm gonna love my wife how I'm supposed to love my wife.
Right.
So stuff like that don't bother me. It may have years ago when I was young and kind of ignorant to that, but we expect our wives to back us up 100% as men.
I'm ready for this. Are you ready for couch time with Sonja? Sometimes you need to hear something that will help. Whoa, or maybe need a break. Are you ready for couch time with Sonja?
Welcome back to Man Cave. So we have two more questions on this show. So we're gonna finalize it. We're gonna let the women know exactly how we feel about things, because I'm sure they want to know, right?
I'm sure.
So,
I'm sure.
so the first question is, what is toxic masculinity, and how have you recognized it in your own life? Q, you want to start us off with that one?
Toxic masculinity. How you say it again?
Masculinity.
Masculinity. I can't say it right, but I know if I'm understanding what it is, it's like me telling a woman she can't say a certain thing, or she can't talk to me a certain way because I'm a man, right?
Oh, I got you.
That type of energy. But I don't have that really. It's probably because I grew up with my mom. I'm a little bit more sensitive to women, which is something that my dad kind of ridiculed me about. He said, you're just like your mom and things like that. So I try not to be toxic. Definitely try to understand them. And I do treat them. I believe that they are queens. I believe that they should be.
Amen. And a black queen?
Treated in a certain way.
Right.
Because they are the mothers, the sisters, the nieces. They are our backbone.
Yeah.
So
Your rib, my rib.
yeah, that's how I approach it.
Okay, Malcolm, what you think? Sitting over here amening.
Okay, amen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, when you ask that question, I have to think. I mean, I don't know. I mean, because I've been called toxic before, and I'm not toxic, but I don't know. I can't really speak on that, to be honest.
Okay.
Let me come back.
All right. You got something, Jamal?
I mean, when I hear toxic, I think of Future, like off rip, like the toxic king himself. Just like, but for me in my life, I recognize it just because I'm a real self-aware person, and I may lie to you, but I won't lie to myself. So I'm real honest in that aspect, and I know like I can be real manipulative and like me-centered when it comes to women sometimes, and like we all probably can, just we see what we want and we just get it.
Right.
So as I kind of started recognizing, like, I guess it was like it just seemed so easy that it was like, man, what am I doing? Like, it's no real attachment to anything. It's just all surface level, just kind of like feeding the beast, but not really like, feeding your inner self or anything.
Right.
So kind of like when I really started to feel that push in myself, I kind of like started seeing all the toxic like behaviors I was displaying. Stuff you probably hear from women and you're like, oh, she just saying that.
Right.
But you don't really tie it together
Yep.
because you didn't see it.
Okay.
But yeah.
It's crazy.
I think sometimes we have to take a self-examination of ourselves.
Looking at
You
me.
know, yeah, because we know. We know who we are better than anybody. Our thought patterns, how we treat our women, or
How we treat ourselves.
Yeah.
Because in order to
exactly.
treat somebody else better, you have to treat yourself good first.
Exactly. I like the idea of Sonja having her freedom to do what she want to do. There's no insecurities there because we know how much we love each other, right? And so I like the idea of her having her own freedom doing what she want to do in life, not necessarily what I want her to do.
Right.
So I get a kick out of backing her up. And some men, I've even had cousins tell me, man, that's some mushy stuff, man. That's some weak stuff. I'm like, dude, you love your wife how you want to love your wife. I'm going to love my wife how I'm supposed to love my wife.
Right.
So, stuff like that don't bother me. It may have years ago when I was young and kind of ignorant to that, but we expect our wives to back us up 100% as men, right?
So we should do the same.
We have to do the same thing to them because they have dreams too.
Yeah.
I'm not her slave owner. I'm not her master. I'm a husband.
And it shouldn't be that way. You should treat each other like a king and a
Exactly.
queen.
Yeah,
Exactly.
real partnership.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even though we're the dominant species, it shows a lot of strength when you can love your queen the way she's supposed to be loved.
And when you think about it, like if you really recognize that they smarter,
Oh yeah.
and they like they got a grip on this
And
life
they right
thing.
most of the time.
And they are.
Right.
Right.
Are they?
Most of the time. Most of the
Most
time.
of the time.
Most of the time. Not all the time. Most of the time.
So the last question, and I'm sure the women want to know this one, is do you feel you know how to love?
Who's gonna go first?
You gonna go first.
Oh,
Bobby.
me? I'm gonna go first. Do I know how to love? I mean, there's one thing to love your family and your friends, but to love somebody else, I mean, I have to really like break down with that because like I'm currently going through that right now, trying to figure out exactly how to love because I always thought that I've like in the past, like other relationships, I thought I've been in love, but that's not love. That's just like affection or something like that. So like in the process, I'm in the development process of trying to make sure I know exactly how to love in order to receive that love back. Because there's one thing to give it, but am I going to receive it back? Or the opposite.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or for me now, like as a dad, that's like one of my most reoccurring thoughts. Like, does my daughter feel love? And then my daughter, she's about like 11 hours away from me right now, and that's like every day. So it's like I'm just making sure I can make her feel this love from this far away. Like so, and I don't know, I don't really per se know how to do that. I just know like what I want to do, and I go from the heart with it. So just like if that's her talking to me every day, seeing my face every day, like we just being goofy, excited with her every day, that's all I just know or just want to do. That's like just the first thought. Just make sure she feel that. I don't really think about it, but I often question, like, am I doing it right, you know? But it's just one of those things.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they don't come with instructions, man. You know, you do what's in your heart to do. You know, and I think you're doing an excellent job at that, you know. So that, I think that's what love is, basically. You know, you do what's in your heart.
Right.
You know, like love is kind, you know. You go through the fruits of love, and that's what it is. Understanding, you know, communicating, you know, give and take, right? And so I could say when I was young, I was kind of selfish. It was all about myself, you know. I was really ignorant to the fact, right? So I was doing what I thought I was taught by my family members, the men in my family, you know, take care of yourself, get as many girls as you can, you know, that kind of thing, you know. But, you know, the older you get and you get into a real relationship, you realize, no, it's not about you. It's about her. And so Sonja and I have kids, so it's about our kids too. But it's about her first, and then my kids, you know. And so I would go without so my wife and kids can have. That's how our relationship been. That's how it's going to continue to be. Q, you want to take us out?
Well, I mean, you posed a good question, and I was kind of listening to everybody else as I'm processing and understanding myself here at 37. I don't know. I don't know, either I don't know how to love, or I wonder, do y'all think that it's finding the right person that makes you want to love them the way they want to be loved?
That's definitely the right person.
Because, and the reason I say that is because in my most recent relationship, I wasn't getting it right. I wasn't doing her whatever her needs were. I wasn't meeting those in the way that she would call it love.
Right.
I was doing what I felt, you know, what I wanted to do with her. And it's more, I know it mentally that you have to take into consideration what they want.
Yeah.
So because I wasn't doing those things, I asked myself, okay, is it her?
Or is it me?
Or is it me?
Yeah.
You know, am I going to be able to do it? So now I've been questioning, okay, am I going to be this person in my next relationship?
Yeah, like a hopeless romantic.
Right,
Yeah.
right, for sure.
Well, just so you know, there's somebody out there for you. God has already picked her,
Okay.
and you're going to meet her.
Okay.
You know, when you least expect it, you're going to meet her. And then you're going to know what true love is, and you're going to feel it, and you're going to do the right thing.
Oh, that's a fact.
So I could be fighting.
Yeah.
I could be like going
Think about
against
it. She's
my
out
path.
there. You just
Okay.
hadn't met her yet. And so a lot of times, God's just getting you ready for the prize.
Right.
All right? So we had a great time here on Man Cave. Had a wonderful time talking to these brothers. I hope we gave you guys some knowledge, and I hope we answered some of the questions women have about men. You know, it's okay to pick our brains and our heart, and it's okay to share that. So we'll see you next time on the Man Cave with Couch Time with Sonja.
I'm ready for this. Are you ready?